The presentation of today's racing program is a copyrighted broadcast of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated. Any rebroadcast, recreation, or retransmission of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please stand for our national anthem. And they're off. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to beautiful Belmont Park, and we are having some rain right now here at Belmont. Temperature will be in the 60-degree range. Right now, the first and second races are on the turf. Races 1 and 2 are on the turf, and races 6, 7, 9, and 10 are off the turf. Once again, races 1 and 2 are on, 6, 7, 9, and 10 are off. We'll give you the changes that we have at this point. We do have an Empire 6 jackpot carryover of more than $53,000. In the first race, scratch number 5, Shamrocked, scratch the 5. In the second race, scratch number 10, Song of Innocence. Second race, scratch the 10, Song of Innocence. No changes in races 3 or 4. Race 5, which begins the Empire 6, scratch number 7, Buffet. Scratch the 7, Buffet. Once again, race 6 is off the turf. Scratch number 10, Big Package. Scratch number 10, Big Package out of the 6th. Race 7 is off the turf. Currently no changes. No changes in the 8th race. The 9th race is off the turf. Currently these changes. Number 3, Key Biscayne, runs with cheek pieces again. And number 5, Wicked Amber, is 1 pound over. 10th race off the turf, couple of scratches right now. Scratch the 3, Lady Firefoot, and the 9, Shell. Scratch 3 and 9 out of the 10th. Empire 6 jackpot carryover of $53,426. Again, on the turf right now for races 1 and 2, off the turf for the remaining races. Update on the track conditions. The main track is sloppy. the turf courses are yielding. Main track sloppy, turf courses yielding. We'll come back at 11:50 to recap the changes. Today's first race post is at 12:20. Up next, the Friday edition of Talking Horses with Andy Serling and Anthony Stabile.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. The man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Stabile is back with us. No worse for the wear. Andy Serling also joining us from Belmont. A very similar weather situation to the one we had on Monday where we were off the turf. Now, as of now, the first and second races are on the turf. The course are listed as yielding. We're going to assume that's the case going forward. We'll give you any updates if they should come to us. How you doing, man?
Good. We'll give you some dirt picks for the early double as well in case the rain continues as it is forecasted to. But right now, one on the inner, one on the widener. We'll hope for the best.
Yep. Supposed to clear out of here by the end of the day or tomorrow morning or whenever. And a nice weekend ahead
Beautiful
of us.
weekend, yes.
Anyway, if you're not a member of Naira Bets, head on over to Naira Bets. No better time than the present. We will match them at $200 your initial deposit. Use the promo code MATCH200. Support racing in New York. Play through Naira Bets. Once you've joined Naira Bets, you can play in our Saturday contest. You've got till 5 o'clock today to sign up for that $250 buy-in, all cash prizes. Just go to naira.com/challenge to register and get more information as well. Also, cross-country Big Five this weekend. It's Keeneland and Belmont. Races 7, 8, 9 at Keeneland. Interspersed between races 9 and 10. The Floral Park scheduled for 6 runs of turf tomorrow. Interesting race. And the Raven Run, Venetian Harbor looks like the favorite in there. We'll see if she can finally get through being a bridesmaid after facing some of the best, maybe the best 3-year-olds in the country, and it's been a pretty good lot this year. Losing to Swiss Skydiver, losing to Gamine.
Yeah.
She's had her hands full with the best horses.
Speech.
Yep.
She'll have to, Richard Balta said he's going to try and make it a double, try and run in that Raven Run tomorrow, and then 3 weeks later try the filly and mare sprint. That's what his intentions are.
All right.
The filly, Mark Cassie's filly did it when it was 2 weeks, 2 years ago. I can't remember her name. She paid almost $100.
You know why you can't remember her name? It was the worst Breeders' Cup race we've ever run. I mean, we've had some doozies, and I'm going to say that some juveniles come to mind, but I'm going to say that, yeah, she just didn't run a step, and after that it was you, me, and a couple other people in horseshoes, as I recall.
We finished 5th, I think.
It was a tough beat.
It was a tough beat.
Tough beat for more purse money. But I got to tell you, you really did pull your end much more than I did. I got tired late. You were strong. You ready?
Yes.
Off the layoff?
Yes.
You were missed, but Acacia did a great job filling in.
Listen, if you can't have the big A, you have the little A. She's the little A. She's been a little A for 5 years.
I was little Andy 45 years ago, so give me a break.
That's Andy. She's little A. Big A, little A.
You know who named me Little Andy?
Only A-Train. Choo-choo.
You know who named me Little Andy?
No.
Oh, you don't know?
No.
Harvey Pack.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All right, race number 1 that we'll pretend is on the turf for right now. We'll take a look at French Reap breaking his maiden. This race is on the turf. He doesn't have anybody to run with like the uber-talented Faya that he met last time out. He's supposed to lead him wire to wire. Are you concerned at all about the turf course if this race should happen to be on the grass?
Yes, but I think you're concerned about almost all of them on the turf course, right?
Well, I think you're concerned more about the closers. See, I would be more comfortable with a speed horse on these turf courses because sometimes it's tough to make up ground when there's give here. He is obviously very talented, and I don't like to throw out races, but he was chasing one of the best turf sprinters in the country in Fire last time, and for a need-to-lead type horse, that horse is kryptonite for him.
Yeah, he could not get in front of Faya, and his day was pretty much done. And Faya looks like a horse who Rob Massiello going to be a little conservative to, other than claiming Crown looks like the route he's going to go.
Did he buy another dinner since then to let you know this information?
No,
Anthony pretended as he leached dinner off him the night that Fire won
I didn't.
that they had plans like
we had
weeks
plans
before.
for-
Yeah,
we had
I know.
plans in
Yeah, I
Saratoga.
know, Anthony. I know. Stick with that
Rob will
story.
weigh in. Rob's watching. Rob watches every day.
Rob's embarrassed for you.
Anyway.
He might try to pop you out. But
Anyway,
he knows the truth.
no Fire in here. No other.
You didn't even pick him, and
No,
you took his.
I put him
It was
second.
embarrassing.
No
you know?
other
No,
speed.
but you said it was a one-horse race. When I tried to tell you that Fire was really kind of the worst to
I
beat,
did.
you actually
I
argued. with
It was
me
great
about
too because when the bill came at King Umberto's, he stared at the check for 3 seconds, and I absolutely laughed at the notion.
You were thinking about the
that I
Ralph
was
Cramden
grabbing
move?
that check. It
Let
was
me
the
get that?
alligator arms from the insurance commercial. It was not happening.
You were thinking of Ralph Cramden move?
Absolutely
Let me
not.
get that? He's the horse to beat. You know, Maxwell
Maxwell Esquire.
Esquire will be the clear-cut second choice
Yep.
here, and he's obviously a nice horse, and he's the second likeliest winner of this race. He's a horse that I would worry about on a course like this because his closing running style, I think, could be compromised, and that's not why I picked him third because I think he's just so moto as the other horse, and I thought things got a little tougher here.
That's fine. He does have one race on yielding ground. It was the Turn Decide as a 2-year-old back at the Big A last November. Obviously, 2 completely different courses a month later. A lot colder, you would think, even though today notwithstanding.
Why is he a better suck-up type horse than the number 8 Duress?
That's a good,
Who's going to be a much bigger price, and I don't think Duress is necessarily any worse.
I'll tell you what, at equal prices, I would probably want Maxwell Esquire.
Close.
But
There's significant
I
difference in
think
price.
you're right. If you're telling me one's 5-2 and one's going to be 6-1, yeah, you're looking
Right,
to
and
play
if
a
you think the
6-8
6
or
is
use
going
the
to
8.
win,
Yeah,
and the 6-8 exacta is paying $10, the other one's paying $5, I don't know if that.
I don't disagree.
I put Montauk Daddy second, and I know he's a bit of a reach. He had a major trip in his one turf sprint here this year. He got completely left in a paceless race, and he actually didn't run that badly that day. He showed enough promise last year, and I thought he could be forward in here, and I was going to try to take a 2-speed number. Now, if this race comes off the turf, I think we're both looking at Foolish Ghost. I picked it 9-2-1 if this race comes off the turf. I would give Montauk Daddy another chance because he did have a bad start last time. The Foolish Ghost off the turf looks like he's almost a cinch.
Yeah, I
right?
picked it 9-2-4, but yes, I'd rather pick it 9-9-9 because say he's supposed to just get to the front and just keep on going.
Yes, it would be a very short field, and he will be a very short price. Race number 2. We are still on the turf for right now. I have to ask you a question about race number 2.
Yes, sir.
I hate to tell you, but the likeliest winner of this race is this horse, Little Nutter, who will running last time out at Monmouth. And it's fine to take a shot against this horse, but how can you leave this horse out of your top 4, Anthony?
I don't know. I think it's hard. I don't.
Anthony, this horse is running against real horses. If you had looked up the horse this horse ran against, you would realize he's running against very legitimate horses. I think the winner was a Godolphin Stidham first-time starter in here. This race is okay, he's coming out of. 5th in a stake the time before that, behind Mischievous Dream and Christophe Clement.
I'm going to tell you what bothers me the
leaving
most.
Him off the top 4?
You want to know what bothers me the most about this horse?
That you left him off the top 4 and you're
A
embarrassed.
barn that takes wild shots is now taking a horse that's actually been competitive and running the horse for a tag. All of a sudden,
you know where he's running him?
Hold on.
You know where he's running him? Where he can win.
Okay, but all of a sudden, I'm supposed to think that common sense has entered the equation.
Anthony, it's not. Come on, Anthony. That's a lame excuse for leaving out a horse that is the horse to beat in here.
You can turn the page back to Fame to Famous. Run him in the pulpit. Runs him in a Risen Star.
I got no problem betting against him, but leaving him on your top 4 is
I don't like her. I don't like her.
It's silly, though. This is a very logical horse, and it makes it look like you just sort of glanced over him. You're going to take a first-time starter in this race for Chad Brown, and Chad's 4 for 27 with first-time starters in maiden claiming races and turf routes. Turf races, I'm sorry. Turf routes. He's 4 for 27. With 2-year-olds, he's 0 for 3. This is where he dumps horses off. Doesn't mean the horse can't win, but this horse is going to be a shorter price than the horse that's run well enough on the turf to win this, and you don't even have the horse on the board. And you have this horse on top.
I don't like those. Listen, I'm spreading with the 2, 4, 6, and 8 in the pick 4s and pick 5s.
Is it because Joey Martinez is riding this horse?
No, you know I'm a Joey Martinez fan.
I don't
told
know
you
that,
why.
Okay. I don't think you are because you have the top 4.
I don't understand. All of a sudden, I'm supposed to think common sense is going to come into play when these horses. This horse was competitive in both races. Now the horse is in for a tag.
He's running where he can win. Nobody's claiming this horse for $50,000. This horse is running 50 buyers. And by the way, if somebody does, I'm sure they'll be very happy to lose him.
Yeah, right. They pay $10,000. I mean, they pay $10,000 for an upstart. Yeah.
Well, that might be why.
Okay.
I don't. It doesn't make any.
6 versus 3 on the turf. 4 for horse.
It's not the point. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh my God.
We are 50 on the button, correct?
50.
Okay.
Okay.
That's for one or two.
It's one. It's very silly because it probably won't be on the turf.
Right.
I can't pick the 8 on top. And when they
Okay.
scratched the 10 Song of Innocence, I had to shift my picks around. The 3 is the horse to beat. I left him in 3rd. I probably should have had him 2nd here. I got a bad stat for Linda Rice for what it's worth. Special maiden claimer on the turf, 2nd starts. Linda's 0 for 11. So I wanted to put this up because people have this correct feeling she's very good 2nd-time stars, but it's
Right.
on the dirt. Still, Source has enough turf pedigree, comes out of a real race. I'm going to take this horse being realistic 2nd time out. I don't love this horse. I want an alternative to the 8, and I don't want to put the 3 on top. So I don't totally trust the 3, but he is the horse to beat it
What
here.
do we do if it comes off the turf?
I picked it 4-2-6-3.
Yeah.
What'd you do off the turf?
I mistakenly left the 8 on top, but I'm sure he'll come out.
You didn't
She'll come
mistakenly
out.
leave him on top.
No,
You put him on
it should have been 6-2-4-10. I forgot to take the 8 out. Now
Isn't the
10's
4
out.
daily briefing particularly dangerous? The
Yeah.
race comes off. I actually thought the horse's workout, the 2-year-old sales, was pretty solid all around. It's not particularly strong turf pedigree. I know this horse might be interesting if the race comes off. Could be interesting on either surface.
I don't have the stat for this, but I noticed a lot of these Wicked Strongs debuting on the turf for some reason. He didn't really run particularly
a hard
well
spot,
on
I
the
guess,
turf.
there.
Yeah, I guess.
Did he run the turf?
He did. He ran. I want to say he ran twice on the turf. He ran
his
in the
career.
poker or he didn't run in the Manila. The Manila's for 3-year-olds. He ran. I want to say he ran
I think you're
3rd in the
right.
poker.
I think you're right.
I
Did
think
he
he ran
trip that day?
3rd in the poker behind Phil D'Amato. I think Phil D'Amato won the race, if I'm not mistaken.
Was he in a horse suit?
No,
Obvious.
Phil
The
D'Amato.
horse name is
Was it obvious?
Obviously. Yeah.
I don't think it was the obviously race, though, for some reason. I thought it was another race, but I could be wrong. I like the fact that this horse has been working all the way since June, going the mile. Whether it's turf or dirt, I'm using this horse.
Race number 3. You went with firsters in race number 3.
I did.
Go ahead.
I did. All of these, not this time, seem to be running. So I don't want to say I got lazy in here, but I did go to the firsters. I didn't really
But you did.
particularly care for the. Yeah, I didn't really
You
particularly
don't
care
admit
for
it.
the
You can admit
race.
it.
I
We're
didn't
all
particularly
friends
care for the race that was run. I put Vacay on top, Todd Pletcher, and quite frankly, if my arch nemesis Ray Handel's numbers with firsters, which has gotten better over the last few
You
months.
won with him this summer. I don't understand what you're worried about.
I'm honing in on 4s and 6s here. A 4
Are there
Maria's
tips here?
gift. No, 4's Maria's
No
gift
tips.
is a half to a horse that won 4 of 8 starts and 1 on a wet track. So
Hang on. This is the 4th fall on the 4 Maria's Gift. The 2 of them that ran buyer figures of 50 and worse. So I don't know how many races they won, but their figures were extremely slow. I don't think they're horses you want to dump. Now, the Dam was good. She won $150,000. She ran a 91 buyer. She won 8 of 19 starts. So she's solid, I agree. Todd's horse, I know the Not This Times are running. This Dam has produced 2 very bad dirt falls.
oh boy,
and one of
our
them,
troubadour.
One of them won on the turf, the
Yeah.
78, Our Troubadour. So we'll see if this is a runner. Could well be. I think the race is between the 1 and 5 in here. I think the 5, La Urbana, figures to go to the lead in this race. She'll probably be tough to catch. Now, we did have the rain on Sunday, and the track was relatively fair, though speed did fine. I thought a bit of Irish Sass ran well after braking slowly in that race, and actually did some real running at the end. Now, La Urbana may have done more running, but La Urbana's going to be a much shorter price. I don't agree with David's morning line. I don't think they'll be close in odds. I think the 5 will be considerably shorter than the 1, based on connections, based on the money they took first time.
Even though the 1 beat the 5
I
first
agree.
time?
I don't
Okay.
think it'll be close. I think the
Okay.
the 5 will be 8, and unless the firster's really live in here, the 5 will be 8 to 5 or under, and the 1. I'm not saying the 1 will be a big price, but 7 to 2, somewhere in that range. Well, I don't know. I think the 5 is going to be much shorter than the 1.
I'm surprised you didn't put La Urbana on top with that.
Well, I
four-
did it
with the
because I
four-
figured the 5 would be a much shorter
I
price.
just figured the 416 Tomlinson would have carried the day for you on the wet.
Anthony, stop giving up my secrets. How about the 404 buyer, Tomlinson in the 3? I put in. What about Charlie Baker?
Yeah.
Charlie Baker, actually, you want to look the 3 Valorant, McLean's Music, obviously doing well with complexity. He's got two probable favorites in the Breeders' Cup. How
No
about
question
McLean's Music?
about it.
2 probable favorites in the Breeders' Cup. Love to see him be a good sire. He could have been a brilliant racehorse.
Yep.
Well, this horse is, they're 5 foals. One ran the 70s, 2 in the 60s. Dam was okay, so this horse might be dangerous.
Sharp gate work.
Yeah, we'll see.
Worked a minute out of the gate last about a week ago.
Race number 4, we'll take a look at Anthony's top pick, Summer Bourbon, last time out. I don't trust this horse going a mile in.
I don't trust any of them. I'm very curious. Now, I know this was
You make a great point.
This was a day
The first great point of the day.
when speed was good.
The inside was good.
Inside was good. It helped me forward, I think. this horse.
I think this race helped before. It's a slow pace.
And I don't think I was the only one. Kind of had this horse. This horse was forgotten. This horse's form had fallen off considerably. And I know speed figure-wise, this horse did not.
I'm sorry, what? Speed figure-wise? Yeah. Anthony, speak English when you're up here, please. That's not
speed
a word.
figure.
You don't add Y's to the end of the word.
Sure you can.
You're an educated man.
You can do that
Please.
at the race. I
Once
told
again,
you there's things you can
think
do
of
with
the
the
kids at
racetrack.
home that are watching. Don't teach them bad habits.
Kids
it's
at
bad
home
enough
should be
you have to
remote
favorite
learning.
They
Don't
are.
do
They're
this.
remote learning on this show. And you're saying things like speed figure
Wouldn't Apollo Creed
This
be
time in
a
particular,
thinker, not a stinker?
This time in particular, while people are home, don't set bad example. Many children are looking up to you.
As far as speed figures go,
there you go.
this horse
As far as speed are concerned,
did not run much better. But
see, don't you feel better?
But no, I don't. But I think we wasted time.
I know. We better hurry.
I feel like this. I feel like, and I'm not going to say prep, because prep has this.
If you think this last race was a prep for this race,
no,
you
think
need to go away for another few days.
I just think that with this race under his belt,
he's the favorite, Anthony.
Yeah,
and I think
is he going to be the favorite?
Yes, he's going to be.
I think.
I'll bet you lunch he's favored.
If the race stays together,
yeah. Why would it fall apart? They didn't know it was going to be sloppy when the scratches came out.
I'll bet you he's not the favorite.
Okay.
I don't think there's
Anthony,
any way Business Cycle's not the favorite.
Oh, yeah, he's in great form. And the Notice have not won any races recently. Well, that's another thing, but we'll get back to that. I understand that Summer Bourbon can win, just as I understand that Business Cycle can win. I feel like Summer Bourbon is a gigantic trap to fall into. First of all, Louis Cardenas is going with financial freedom. He's not slow. You have to imagine he's going to go in here. And the other thing is, I don't trust this horse going a mile to save his life.
Okay.
I'm not saying he can't, and I don't trust this horse, period. I feel like he was just sort of sucked along in the race last time. He can obviously win.
Listen, do I completely trust him? No, but like you, I think Cardenas sends financial freedom, and I think he sits a similar trip to the one he sat last week. And
he wins. It's not that I lose. I want to bet against him. Business Cycle, obviously he can win. Don't you feel like there's a better chance the Business Cycle is dumping? Now, I know the Notice claimed him, and any horse the Notice have claimed, they take over. I'm not going to allow to beat me in multi-race bets. But good luck to them. I mean, this horse has been in some good barns, and it just feels like his form's just declining.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I can really argue that, but he does have races.
It's a Noda. You put him in because Noda claimed him. That's okay.
I'm going to use Noda. You know what? I don't think financial freedom is impossible in here. I really don't.
Okay.
If you're right about Summer Bourbon, financial freedom can get to the top and see how the racetrack's playing. I mean,
he's run very well in his 2 starts since coming here from Fingerlings. He looks like a winner on paper.
They've been awful.
Well, you know what? He did have 7 days since his last race to get his act together. Okay. Good luck. It'll be a big price. I like 2 horses in here, and I don't know. I'm surprised the direct order is this short, but he has the figures, so maybe that makes a certain amount of sense. This thing's rattling around. Maybe I should have done my job and clipped it. I thought direct order was just sort of logical in this race with Luis Saez. We'll see if he can be close enough. I kind of wanted him and Orpheus as the 2 alternatives. I don't have any strong. I thought the 1, 7, 9, and 10 were the likeliest winners. I took a 2 I thought would be better prices. I didn't really like Autostrada, who got a nice trip last time out. I think Mills, and we discussed it last time, is just sort of his expiration date, unfortunately, has kind of come up. His good races lately have not been that good. So I sort of went with the 2 better prices of the 4 horses I thought were the likeliest winners.
Sure.
Nothing particularly special in here. Direct order just seems like he's running against some better horses and he's dropping down. And the others I thought were a little bit hungry on paper.
Hard to really love anybody in
this
heat.
I totally. That's why I didn't want the 7 and 10 who I thought would be favored in here. I mean, I understand they
Fair
can win.
enough.
I'm not. Race number 5. I think we both like the same horse in race number 5.
Love that face.
Okay, why do you like this horse?
I thought this was a very straightforward move from Mike Maselli. Ran this horse twice in special weight on the dirt. I don't think the horse ran that poorly. Came back, tried her on the turf before dropping her in. She didn't run that well on the turf, and now she's just dropped in. And talk about just trying to put a horse in where they can win. I just think this was a straightforward drop, and that was it.
I don't have any argument. I
Yeah.
think this horse will be favored, but I think that she should be favored in here. She actually ran well 2 races back. Well, pointed out, but anyway, she had trouble at the start. She sort of had legit trouble when the number 9, I think, came in on her, and she kind of got real trouble. The 7 came out, so it was legitimate trouble at the start, and I didn't think she had the most comfortable trip after that. Not a bad trip after it, but the start really did bother her. Her first start was a sloppy track, but that was that big speed track, and, you know, she ran against Jewel Arabia, who's obviously not that good, but she likes a wet track. I think the track worked against her. I don't think she ran that badly in a wet track, and she's just a logical horse in here, as is Meb's Webb. I mean, I know she's 0 for 12. My man David Aragona is going to get Nick Zito home if he die trying. He has set a record so far of number of Nick. I think he's trying to make Nick like him more than he likes him. I'm a little bit upset about this.
Here's
Meb's Webb can obviously win.
Yeah, Meb's Webb can obviously win the race. It's just
This is
the
0 for
other
12.
thing. The other thing with Love That Face is Crick's going to be one of the choices, 0 for 10. Meb's Webb might be the favorite, 0 for 12.
Crick's not going to be a shorter price than
You
Love
don't think
That
so?
Face. Nah.
David has.
What do you want to
has
do?
it
You want to
3
bet that
No,
one?
I don't want to bet it, but
Okay.
he has it that.
I don't agree with
You
that.
know, Vatanza, who you have third, I have fourth.
Well, you got Meb's Webb the favorite.
0 for 14, yeah.
I
So,
think Love That Face the cinch should be favored in here.
I mean, if there's a lot
Maybe-
of people,
Claiming race the first time?
a straight drop, a horse that's only 0 for 3 with a bunch of horses that are 0
Yeah.
for double digits,
How's this
I
horse
would
not?
think so. I mean, I don't think she's going to be 8 to 5, but yeah, I would imagine.
You'd be shocked if she's 8 to 5?
I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't think she will be.
I don't disagree.
But
But
she'll be 2 to 1, 5
I'll
to
put
2.
it this way. I think there's a better chance she's 8 to 5 than she's not favored. How's that?
Interesting.
I think I owe David a dinner for some bad opinion I had on one of his lines. Perhaps restaurants will be able to eat in restaurants at some point. Should we take a break?
Yeah.
Okay. You ready to come back? Oh, our good friends at Saratoga Water. Let's hear from our wonderful sponsor. Saratoga Water sponsors Talking Horses. We appreciate their support. Let's hear from them. We'll be right back.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Back to Talking Horses, by the way. It's so nice to have you back. I mean, I
You
did
know,
miss you.
everybody this morning excited to go back. I was gone for 2 days, but I guess with the 3-day break.
You're never out, though. It's very rare. Very rare.
Yep,
You know? We talked a lot. We did.
we do.
The highlight, actually, of the couple of days was that I called Anthony once and his friend Phil, who he likes to discuss. He was on speakerphone. Phil, who is your best friend, is far more abusive to you than I am.
Yeah, it's
he was
very
really
much so.
beating up on you.
Very much
Yeah,
so. And then when the Duke's home, John, who Phil's dad was head of maintenance, one of the heads of maintenance here for 46 years, boots on the ground. When they double team me, it's all over, man. It's
All
all
right.
over with.
What are you doing here off the turf? You're taking Silly Key's back.
Yeah, Silly
I like
Key is
Silly
back.
Key.
Wound up on Silly
It's
Key.
a half the Silly Key running on Sunday.
I did not notice that.
Well, Silly Key's in that big family. Isn't it the Papa Shot family?
The Papa Shots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All 4 of the falls from that damn.
So when
the
Silly
1A
Key
in
was
one of the races.
when Silly Key was last seen, it was our last day before the COVID break in the Damon Runyon. And Silly Key, obviously something I want to miss after dueling.
Well, he didn't run well in the Gander, frankly.
He didn't.
Too much distance, or just sort of went the wrong way. I think probably more going
Combination
the
of
wrong.
both.
I think going the wrong way more than anything. I don't want to blame the distance because he may have been going the wrong way.
Combination of both, and I think going the wrong way, and you know maybe needing a little break, exacerbated by the race last time out. I mean that race in the Damon
Step up your
Runyon.
game after the speed figure.
Yeah, I don't
wise.
like me. I mean,
You see how smart you can be if you. Know, give yourself
I'm
a
very
chance.
lazy, Andy. We both know this.
But Phil told me.
He's 100% right. Yeah, you know, off the turf, I don't know how this race is going to hold together.
Well, let me ask you a question. Off the turf, are you at all concerned a horse, especially with speed, like a horse like Bronx,
Like Bronx Bomber?
could get the lead and just wire this field? I thought he was dangerous.
Yeah.
And I'm going to. Oh, wait, race 2 is now off the turf. Race 1's still on. Race 2 is now off the turf.
Okay, well, we talked about
As
that.
I told Anthony in the break, we're only responsible for what happens up until 12 o'clock. Then we're free.
And I felt like the first would stay on the turf today. I felt like they keep them first on the
It'll
turf
be we'll be
if they
getting
could.
we'll be getting a message. It's off after that comment in about 12 seconds.
I just did because I don't know how that race is going to how that race will shape up
Okay.
off the turf. But yeah, I mean this race now we're still waiting for scratches. Obviously, yes, that does concern me. If a horse like Bronx Bomber just is left with no other speed to face in the race,
but what about the 5 Bust and Shout? Bust and Shout isn't a bad dirt horse. You don't have Bust and Shout in your top 4. Did you really think hard about that? Do you think Roddy's going to not want to run this horse in the dirt? Why wouldn't you want this horse in the dirt? What's wrong with this horse's dirt form?
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's a lot right with it.
There's nothing wrong with it. I just
He doesn't need to lead to win either, Anthony.
well,
He doesn't.
yeah, I guess.
He
I
doesn't.
mean the race, but it was a racing thing. This horse does his best work on the front end.
Anthony.
I thought there was a chance. I think there's a chance this horse is not going to run on
There's a chance
track
none of them are
today.
going to run on the thing, but that's not the reason to leave it
Yeah.
out. That's a bad
But
that's a bad
well,
comeback.
you
You're-
put him on top in here.
Anthony, do you understand?
I don't like when they move to the turf, though, Andy. They moved this horse to the turf, and
but he's run well on the
he
turf.
kind of ran better on the turf than he did on the dirt. Now that's not to say
What
he
was
couldn't
wrong with
win
the
this
second to Big
race.
Thicket back in June? You don't think that one could win here? You don't have this horse in your top 4. Let me ask you a question about Fast Getaway. What happened the last time he tried to run?
Say again.
What happened to Fast Getaways for him? We haven't seen him now for almost 2 months. Where's he been?
Well, he came back in 6 days.
Anthony, he was scratched going to the gate with about 2 minutes to go during this meet.
Okay.
That concerns me a significant amount. And Anthony, that is the most phonied up off the turf win that you'll ever find. He somehow got the lead when Linda's other horse got completely eliminated. No, let me finish. Got eliminated at the gate. He's not getting the lead against these horses.
I don't think he needs the
This
lead.
is a much.
I don't think he needs the lead. There's no chance he can get the lead. And this is a horse that has won from off the pace. I think
I'm going to
he
say if
can
Linda leads
inherit.
this horse in, I'm going to tell you what chance this horse has. None.
Okay.
None. That's my professional opinion here. What about Call Me Harry?
This is a weird main track only, isn't it? The horse never ran on the dirt before, and
got
now the horse
speed,
is main
too.
track only.
You don't have him anywhere?
I don't know.
Nowhere?
There was just a little too much. Just too much going on for a horse that's going to take money off turf races.
You don't think it's interesting that Kelsey Danner entered this horse MTO? Why wouldn't she enter the horse turf or dirt?
I'll be honest with you. I was a big fan of this horse last year. I don't think this horse came back the same horse.
Well, he's
And I
also
think
been
this
in
is-
races
this is-
that have had extreme pace
I
scenarios.
understand that, but I also think this is a little bit of a desperation move.
Be
trying the dirt.
that as it may,
I don't want those at a short price. So it's going to be one of the 3 favorites.
I don't know.
I do.
I'm a little bit skeptical, but maybe David's made it right. They're probably looking at the turf figures. and
Since
get
this horse
confused.
debuted,
I'm
this
not in
horse
love
has
with
never
him.
been higher than 7-1. So it's always takes some money. And I think off the turf with a smaller field, they're going to see, the horse ran 6 times on the turf, never on dirt. Now she's a main track only. He's a main track only. I think this horse is going
If
to
they
take money
both
today.
stay in, can I bet you lunch the 11 beats the 7, the 2 Linda Wright horses?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think they would obviously both have to stay in for the bet to count.
I said if they both stay in. So. Okay, we'll see. I thought this race was interesting off the turf. To be honest, it was a confusing race on the turf, and everybody was going to fall for the 10 who scratched big package, and I thought it was a major bet against.
This
It
is,
was
you
the
know,
moto horse of the decade.
this is the master of the obvious statement, but every race is affected by scratches. This race will be severely affected by scratches.
Well, there's a lot of horses that can stay in this race, and I hope people do stay in.
Yeah.
Race number 7. I really wanted to bet Desert Oasis on the turf. I'm really annoyed.
Okay.
You've got Desert Oasis on top of
I do.
on the turf. Oh, Big Tomlinson. 420 Tomlinson.
I mean, that was simply, that's
Can't
all
fool
I
you,
needed. I
Big
stopped
A.
handicapping. I didn't have to handicap after that.
What
so
other
no.
reason could you like this
In all
race?
seriousness, I thought
I was being serious.
the blinkers getting back on were going to help. Her best race came with the blinkers off, but I think
They were on the turf.
the other 3 well, yeah, but I like the equipment change.
What do you think a chance
This horse
this horse
does have a
stays in?
nice wet track pedigree, obviously.
Poor thing.
Tomlinson aside.
What do you think a chance this horse stays in?
I think this horse is going to stay in. Do you know this horse? Do you have prior knowledge?
Anthony, if I knew the horse was coming out, I would tell you. But I would
I-
certainly bet you a lunch she comes out.
I
No,
think-
she could stay in.
I think that.
I have almost no opinion in this race. The winner is going to come from the 2, 5, and 10. That's my opinion.
That might be the whole field
Okay?
when it's all said
Exactly.
and done.
The problem with our circle of love is she left here in disgrace. Her last 2 races were absolutely horrendous. Now, Michelle's doing well, but I'll bet you lunch the 1 scratches.
Nah, I don't want to bet the lunch.
Michelle's doing well, and obviously she can win. but she was in terrible form. Slimy is going to confuse people into thinking that she loves a wet track. It's absolutely 100% false. She's found the right fields when she found wet tracks. She doesn't move forward on wet tracks. She's got figures that are just as good on dry tracks.
Even I didn't fall for Slimy.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the wet track
Not saying she
move.
can't win, and with the 5 gone glimmering, played by Rob Atras, whose horses they're running up. He should have had 3 winners on Monday's card. I don't know why he wasn't put up in the last race. It certainly isn't copacetic with other decisions they've made, but regardless, these horses are running, and so I put that horse off the claim for Rob Atras on top.
And part of the reason I did put Desert Oasis on top on a wet track was the fact that I'm not sold
on any of the
others that I think that's going to be in.
Okay, that's fair.
Right, maybe Shug maybe leaves Secure Connection in. She was on the speed track that day in Saratoga off the turf. Maybe he gives her one more chance on a wet track.
That was a speed track? Was it? I think it was. I think you're right. Yeah, Shug likes to stay in a wet track.
So, maybe it's a field of 5.
Yeah, she would be my 4th choice, the 6. I agree.
I want to give a different face a chance if the race comes off. That was it, really. You went to give me a 2-1 edge, but you wouldn't pull the trigger.
I thought it through, and I don't think it was a great point. It was a good, solid point. Okay, race number 8. I want to see your pick. The only race you put Adam on top.
The only race I could have. Oh,
somebody crying in the Northeast. I tell you, it's a very bad moment. Anyhow, so let's take a look at 10 for 10, finishing ahead of Savoy. I wanted to show more of this race because I want people to realize what counting. I think Savoy right now was in downtown Schuylerville. That's her on the way back. She just completely, dropped out of the race. I would say 10 for 10 got a very good trip in here. I wouldn't say because Speaker's Corner came back to win last week, it flatters this race, because Speaker's Corner was 3 to 5 in here and got the right trip. I think we knew that, but I don't think it flatters it. Savoy did make a strong run the rail and can do some running. I think both of these horses can win. I put Shug on top. I didn't have a strong opinion one way or the other. I thought the race was mostly 2 6s and 8s.
Tell you what, Savoy certainly saw a lot of the main track at Saratoga that afternoon. Was out in the 6 or 7 path at one point, wound up down on the inside.
Yeah, it was a weird.
Yeah, it was and
well, the horse loved it in the stretch. Irad wasn't trying to go to the rail.
But here,
I think he'll be more professional today.
I'm going to give it to you because I think it's a good point. Here's the thing.
This is a great point.
When the young horses do that, they get
drink.
They get an education.
There's bourbon in here.
No, they get.
I knew we were going to
They get an education, and horse probably should have been 3rd. If you think of all the ground the horse lost running laterally instead of forwardly, I mean, the horse probably should have been 3rd. I did not. I thought this was a bit of a spread race. I'll tell you another thing. I think this is going to be, when we look back on this race in 3 months, I think this is going to be a good race. I'm kind of upset the track came up wet for this race because I think there's chances to have a handful of nice horses out of this race.
I don't disagree with that. I've got a stat for Todd Pletcher before we get to your top choice with his 2 first-time starters. And the 7 constitutional laws, a half to Jack Aranda, who's the dam of that Peter Brand horse who won the other day, but also Constitution. He's a full to Constitution. Yep. Todd Pletcher, with 2 first-time starters in dirt routes at Naira, he's 0-50 with only 4 hitting the board. I found the 4 hitting the board, and it's not easy to win with firsters going a dirt route. And I found this to be positive. There used to be a 1 for stat. Remember he had a big priced horse won at Aqueduct, like 18 to 1 that won. I just thought that was kind of interesting. He's got 2 in here.
I talked to Todd for HRN one day on the afternoon show, and he explained to me how the operation works with the 2-year-olds is he has the big wave come in for Saratoga, obviously, and then he kind of backs off on the late developers until Gulfstream Park, and that's why when you see the end of November, early December, he usually wins a bunch of races down there into the early part of the next year. The firsters, again, there's another wave of horses. So, yeah, this is kind of the in-between time for the barn.
I think you just hit the lead. That could be considered a great point.
Thank you. I think it is, too.
It wasn't your point.
I was saving it because I know I had it.
Todd gets an assist.
Todd gets the assist, yeah. We each get a point. But, yeah, so this time of year, I'll kind of back off a little bit, just knowing that that's the mindset of the barn.
What about rational choice? Didn't break that badly. Did make a nice run up the rail. Likeable just ran off.
Just got loose and kept going. Likeable. Yeah. Second time.
Seems very logical. Got a good figure.
Yeah.
So Rock Sugar,
So
you couldn't resist that dirt pedigree?
the two Mott horses.
I know where this is coming. I know what he's going to say.
The two Mott horses in here are very interesting. Junior Alvarado is going to stay aboard officiating. He didn't ride officiating last time. He rode the winner, and same rider
One reason to dislike
for
the one.
agent. Benji was aboard. Junior gets the mount back. The blinkers go on. They have to Caledonia Road. We've went down this road. This horse does have a nice wet track pedigree. Rock Sugar to me
The
looked
4
like,
is after Caledonia.
Yeah, the 4 is after Caledonia Road.
But the horse has run twice.
Yeah. But now the
416
blinkers go on. That was the, I'm sorry? 416 Tomlinson, exactly. The one Rock Sugar looked to me like a horse that, A, needed some ground and looked a little lazy. And Belmont, you know, I think one of the things that's changed the most over at the barn is not really wasting too many races. I think in the past, he would run horses short first time out just to get a little feel because there's no experience like racing experience.
I think you're making this up.
I'm not making it up.
I think you are.
This horse ran twice on the turf. I think this horse was on the turf because of the distance. And now this horse gets a main track, gets Joel Rosario to ride. This horse is going to be a square price. Again, the wet track, I was really looking forward to this race. The wet track is kind of...
Anthony, don't allow the wet weather to dampen your unending enthusiasm.
Pun intended?
What?
Wet weather dampen?
No, I didn't even think about that one, actually.
Yeah.
The one has a dirt pedigree, and I know everybody's going to say, well, Bill ran this horse long. Wasn't the turf. He ran the long because he wanted to go long.
That's a terrible impersonation.
But no, I'm not impersonating anybody.
Oh, okay.
But that's just the sort of the drone that you hear from people. When horses run on the turf going first time out and not the dirt, and then they come in the dirt, people always say the same thing. They're right 1 out of every 80 times.
I don't think that's
randomly.
accurate.
Yes, it is. It is
when there's
accurate.
no opportunity, when there isn't an opportunity to run the horse long...
I get it, Anthony. I understand. The dam was a solid dirt runner. There's absolutely no reason for this horse to be running on the turf. It is a dirt pedigree. I totally get it. Maybe a little bit fooled because the horse ran third in a very bad maiden race first time out. So they tried the turf again. The horse didn't run horrendously, but not a turf horse.
And we never had
this horse going to have success. Going to be in the dirt. The problem with your picking this horse here is this might be a little bit tougher than your usual
It could be,
dirt maiden race.
but he's going to pay $20 if he
No,
wins.
he's not. No, he's not.
Andy, the money's... Where's the...
I bet you he's under 9-1.
Wow.
Race number 9.
I'll take it.
Oh, okay.
9's a push.
Okay. 9 evens a push.
I get 9, 10 and higher,
Yes.
and you get 8, 90 and lower.
No, yes.
I bet you he's a bigger price than the other Mott horse.
He might be. Race number 9. He's got bigger figures, so he probably won't be. Race number 9. Number 9.
Number 9.
Are there anybody in the backstretch that's a non-winners of 1 filly that they didn't enter in this race that is wondering what they're doing? A lot of dirt horses in here. Key Biscayne. You ever been to Key Biscayne?
No.
Oh, I love Key Biscayne. Got that great beach with the lighthouse, like the state park.
Not a
at the
beach
end of it.
guy.
Ah, Key Biscayne's nice. I'm telling you, it's real nice. You know, it's the first key. If you go over the bridge, the end of my 95 ends.
I never went
You go
down that
down,
far.
you go over the. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, no, I
We
never
should
went
take
that
a trip,
far.
you and I.
All right.
I'll take you to the beach.
All right.
Really, this horse's won dirt race is pretty atrocious, right?
I mean, yeah. What do you want me to do here? I mean...
Don't you remember the dam of Pandemom? Yes, I agree. This is
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous, this race. I could not agree with you more. It is a completely and totally ridiculous race. I'm picking Pandemom. Akalina was actually a solid dirt horse. You got Uncle Mo. Why can't this horse just go to the lead with who figures to be left in the race and wire the field?
You can.
2, 3, 5, 6. I don't like any of them. I like Pandemom. Christophe usually stays in. Somebody's take a shot. But this is going to be some interesting race when the scratches finally come in, huh?
My assumption would be 2,
Maggie
3...
looks happy, doesn't she?
My assumption would be 2, 3, 5...
She wanted to be up here.
My assumption would be 2, 3, 5, 8. We'll stay in.
We have the other TV. Maggie's setting up. She's hosting. Greg Wolf is out, by the way, Maggie.
Maybe 6.
I get that.
Can't see more than 5 staying in, though.
The biggest guess of all time.
Yeah.
There is absolutely zero dirt form in this race to go on. We'll see who's left. I'm going to hope on the pedigree Pandemom, but I can't. I mean, frankly, why is Wicked Amber that much more less likely to win than a whole lot of these horses?
And you know it's going off the rails.
Well, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No.
Horse is coming off a win, the best race it's ever run, at going a mile, and has dirt races that, I mean, this horse ran the Ruthless.
You know one thing, Wicked Amber will not be scratching out of the
Amber will
8th
be
race
running.
today.
Randy will be getting
Where
a check.
Can I bet on,
Randy's getting a check.
Where can
God
I
bless
bet
you,
on
Randy.
her being in the race in the 8th race today?
If you could get down
On
and
the 9th
over
race
1 to
today.
5, get down
I'd
for $1
take
million
1
for
to
me.
20.
You're gonna bet the whole 20?
Yeah.
Your old bankroll? Race number 10.
I was off for 2 days now.
That's a good point. You make it. Whoa! It's gonna be 3 to 1. Race number 10. I don't know about you guys. We're having fun. We're freezing, but we're having fun. What are you gonna?
Nope.
What are we doing?
Oh,
here?
I
What
hear
do
you, Jeff.
Shug. No
Maggie's.
ordinary
By the way,
time.
guys, Maggie's mic is live.
Good, how are
Maggie, your
you?
mic is live. Your mic is live, Maggie.
Maggie, we
Not
can
too bad.
hear you. No, we can't.
She's
All
on the other side.
Livable.
No ordinary time. I went
Did she
sixes.
insult? I think she insulted you. I could be wrong. But
No, I don't think so.
Do we have any
maybe
Maggie, we
update
don't
on
do
it's,
that.
Maggie's mic is still live, guys.
Yeah,
Might want to
Maggie's
turn it
mic
off.
is live. No ordinary time. Half 2 Ashland winner. Weep No More. Showed speed in the 2-turn turf race up at the Spa. I would assume this horse is going to stay in by Frosted with that pedigree.
Oh, dear.
I tried her.
Okay. I got her second. I've got the $5 mountain on top. Why wouldn't you leave an upstart in?
Yeah.
And I don't think this horse ran badly after breaking 3/4 slow, kind of rushed up the pace. It fell apart in the late stages. And I would think you would leave an upstart in. Now, maybe they ran this horse in the turf because the horse showed nothing on the dirt, but
Maybe.
I thought you'd leave it in. So I had those 2 in there. Traffic Lane for Todd. Why not? Todd seems to do well in these races and often stays in. And then I got Union Dues included, who's really
Yeah,
more of a
Claude's
dirt
here.
bet. Please turn off Maggie's mic, guys. I will text her and tell her to.
Well, we're almost done anyway. Yeah.
Can't tell her. You can't tell the other side.
Anything
Anthony,
else?
talk while I text her.
You think we got anything else? Reina del Sol, the Tap It. I don't know about a Galileo man. Maybe Mott leaves her in. Maybe not. I don't know. Obviously, scratches will be key to the
Abundant.
late pick
There
5.
were 4, I think, European purchases in this race.
I did notice that.
It's amazing that trip that Chad Brown and Peter Brandt took the Tattersalls 2 years ago, with Newspaper Record coming out, as well as Digital Age.
Digital Age.
How many people have followed suit to buy those Europeans?
Well, look.
I would say it was trailblazing.
That's it. I would say the same thing. And when you have 2
Game changer.
prolific, multiple graded stakes winners, both Grade 1 winners.
What do
in
you
fact,
think with the wind?
The wind's dead. Don't try and con these people. The wind is. I mean, I whistle.
I
whistle
hope you've
harder
all
than
had
the
as
wind's
much fun
blowing
as
right
Anthony
now.
and I have had on here.
This
So
guy,
I'm so happy to
man.
have him back.
What
Head
a
over to
huckster.
Naira Bets. Thank us by heading to Naira Bets. Do the right thing for yourself. Do the right thing for New York Racing.
New York
Support
Racing.
New York Racing.
Most importantly,
You
do the
will-
right thing for New York Racing.
Swish.
Bingo.
Promo code, I would have choked if you would bet. Promo code MATCH200. We will match up at $200 of your initial deposit. Sign up now for Naira Bets and enjoy the many wonderful things that Naira Bet has to offer, like the contest on Saturday. You can only play through Naira Bets. Head on over to naira.com/challenge. You have until 5 o'clock today to sign up. And finally, Cross Country Big Five.
Looking forward to this.
Other than secondary market, who do you like in the Raven Run? Who's your second choice behind secondary
Well,
market?
secondary market, Venetian Harbor's. I think Venetian Harbor's going to be tough cutting back.
Even against secondary market?
Finding the. I think she's finding her friends tomorrow.
Secondary market, your top choice?
No, I like Venetian Harbor tomorrow.
Your second choice, secondary market?
Of course.
Okay, just
You know that. You know, I
that's
once
tomorrow.
saw the late, great Dave Mondesi hit 63 free throws in a row at the Meadowlands.
That's a Ripley's moment.
63. Dave, for those of you who didn't know Dave probably had 150 pounds on me.
There's nothing better than Dave coming down the escalator with an ice cream cone at
He hit
Saratoga. Soft
63
ice cream.
free throws in a row.
He was a good trainer. That man could train. Subordinated debt was the worst. That Julie
Subordinated
wrote for
debt,
him.
yep.
Has anybody told Julie Crone that we don't have an inner dirt track at Aqueduct yet, by the way? I'm going to tell her. Julie, we took it out 3 years ago.
You win. You win. You win today. Even though I was up 3-1, I acquiesce. It's yours.
On that note,
Take the victory. We'll see you tomorrow.
America's Day at the Races, 12 to 5:30. Greg Wolf is out. Paul LaDuca making a cameo appearance. He will be on with Maggie in just a few moments, covering all the action today. Johnny I, in just about 5 minutes, will be giving you a reprise of the scratch and changes, and you might want to hear them. See you later.